A very good evening from the SBC newsroom. Staff at the judiciary had to be evacuated once again as there were reports of people smelling an unknown gas substance. This is the third time SBC has reported of similar incidents at the judiciary. When our crew got to the judiciary at around 11 a.m., some staff were standing outside the courthouse and some were already leaving the premises. One person we spoke to said that this time around the smell was stronger than the last time. Parents with students at independent school were asked to pick up their kids early today due to an unknown substance that people were smelling. The first reports were made around 10 a.m. and by noon most students at the primary level had already left the school. Initially, parents were told that they could collect their child if they wanted, but the school would remain open. However, after similar incidents were reported at the judiciary, the school decided to close. In a message on the occasion of Africa Day tomorrow, President Wavell Ramkalawan has said that the African Union theme for 2024, Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, is timely, prompting the potential and wealth of knowledge of Africa through its young population, its diversity, its Agenda 2063 ambitions. He says that as we commemorate Africa Day, we are reminded of the wealth of African history which serves our own foundation as a country. The President continues saying that this year let us be reminded of how far Seychelles has come as a country which prioritizes inclusion and access to education for all. The head of state continues his message saying that even as a relatively young country, our education system has been heralded as one of the most progressive in the world, let alone on the African continent. He ends his message urging the Seychellois people to celebrate our teachers and educators, our students and lifelong learners, our history and common future. And the president of the United Seychelles Party, Dr. Patrick Herminy, has also sent his best wishes to all Africans, including the diaspora, on the occasion of Africa Day, which commemorates the formation of the Organization of African Unity. He says that whilst we are celebrating Africa, we should also avail of this opportunity to reflect on the progress that the continent has made since the creation of the OAU on the 25th of May 1963. He continues his message saying that United Seychelles Party is grateful for the strong support that its predecessor, the Seychelles People's United Party, the SPUP, received from the OAU during our fight for independence, and the support continued even post-independence as we embarked on the task of nation building. He also reaffirmed the Seychelles Party's support for the African Union. The Seychelles Pension Fund has described its financial performance last year as extremely good. The chief executive of the fund, Nisrin Abdul Majid, was speaking after a copy of its annual report was presented to the Ministry of Finance, National Planning and Trade, in line with the Pension Fund Act. It was the chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the Seychelles Pension Fund, Sheila Mohideen, who presented the report to the Secretary of State in the Ministry of Finance, National Planning and Trade, Patrick Payette. The good performance was due to investments the fund has made and an increase in contributions in the fund from members.
The Seychelles Pension Fund is on target. The financial performance has been good. If I can just go briefly on the figures for the contribution, we've collected 748 million compared to 611 million, and that's an increase of 22%. And in terms of growth in the members fund, we can see that there's a growth of 5.5%. And that's from 1.8 billion in 2022 to 1.9 billion in 2023. And we've also recorded an excess surplus of 109 million compared to 47 million in 2022. And that surplus relates to the excess contribution over benefits. And in terms of financial performance itself, in terms of the investment performance, the income and expenditure, we've recorded a surplus with fair value and exchange difference of 213 million. And in terms of expenditure, we've also spent 124 million. That's compared to 2022, which was 129 million.
Over 70 scientists gathered at the Eden Bleu Hotel for a 2-day symposium about issues surrounding Seychelles waters. The University of Seychelles organized the symposium so that itself, along with its partners, could have a better understanding of our waters. These included the importance of mangroves, how Seychelles is affected by waves, amongst many other subjects touched. The scientists who participated were both local and from overseas. Different objects that have something to do with the ocean are being showcased in an exhibition. This is being organized by a group of non-governmental organizations in collaboration with the Seychelles Marine Science Symposium. It is a 2-day activity where they are giving more information about the ocean, and it is being held under the veranda of the National Museum. Sheena Talma, who is responsible for Talma's consultancy, said that this activity will enhance their knowledge of ocean discoveries, and this is for all groups of people.
Discover Our Ocean, or Découvrir l'Océan, is a group of youth that came together and have decided to put on this exhibition and showcase our ocean. The idea is that more youth will join and help make this a bigger activity, maybe every year. And we're so appreciative of all the sponsors and all the organizations that have come together to assist and help us make this a reality.
The healthcare agency has launched its HPV, or human papillomavirus vaccines program for the boys. The launching ceremony was held at the Plaisance Primary School, where 3 boys received their first dose of the vaccines today. Before that, only girls were administered with such vaccines. This HPV vaccine is a part of the mission of the World Health Organization, the WHO, to eliminate cervical cancer as a preventable disease. In his address, the Chief Executive Officer of the Healthcare Agency, Dr. Danny Louange, stated that the consequences of the HPV infection is very alarming here in Seychelles, and it is important for boys also to be vaccinated.
HPV infection and their consequences are truly alarming. It's not alarming worldwide, but it's also alarming in Seychelles. We are not spared. Even with our small population, we do feel the effect of cervical cancer, deaths among those who have been affected by cervical cancer. The numbers are very serious. While it is true that HPV infection can lead to cervical cancer in women, it is equally important to recognize that HPV can also cause other causes of cancer and genital warts in both men and women.
More emphasis is being placed on tackling bullying, especially amongst children. The family department has been targeting students on Praslin and La Digue. They are having psychotherapist Jimmy Petros to give frank but building discussions with them on why a person would bully others and how one should react when being bullied. Although bullying campaigns have been going on for years, it is not declining. It has been suggested that children are learning from the bad examples from adults rather than their wise advice. The Principal Program Development Officer, Nathalie Zidon, says it requires the support of all to bring bullying to a stop.
The program itself is in line with the mandate of the family department, which is to empower families. And it is also to commemorate the Orange Day, which is a campaign whereby we say stop violence against women and girls. And in Seychelles, we also include the boys. While doing this campaign, we are working with the schools to educate the students, to raise awareness so as to get them to know the services and also what to do when there is violence. And also in the community, we plan on handing out information on the services that we have so that people will know where to go and what to do if they have a violent situation at home. How to reduce bullying and violence. It's a whole team effort, I believe. We need to take a holistic approach to it and work with all of our partners to be able to put mechanisms in place so that we are able to educate people on how to live in peace and harmony, and also conflict resolution, how to solve conflict in a peaceful manner.
Have a very pleasant evening.